Mornings filled with meaningful business talk.
Giving you useful advice on how to win at your career.
I am Randy Bernardino.
And I am May and Manzano, and this is
Daily Insight.
Now I think it's time to introduce our guest for this morning. For such a very interesting topic, of course, we have someone from Accudin.
Accudin, yes.
And Accudin is a startup business.
As part of our series on young entrepreneur, from the Young Entrepreneur Society, we have invited the CEO of Accudin to let us know about his experience in starting up his company.
Yes.
So without further ado, we'd like to welcome Mr. Magellan Fetiliano.
The third.
The third.
Yes. Good morning,
Hi,
Magellan.
Good morning,
Hi.
Magellan.
Good morning.
Thank you for coming.
Hi.
Thank you. Okay, now would like to discuss or would like to go to two important things. First, Magellan's being a young entrepreneur. He's 25 years old.
Yes.
Everyone, a very
Which
young
is,
CEO.
Younger than us.
Yes, and Accudin as a startup business, his company. And then the second one is, of course, we'll discuss more details, more specifics of what Accudin does.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for the first one, okay, let's introduce him first. Further, they won, or Accudin, represented by him, of course, Magellan III. They won a startup summit sponsored or organized by the Young Entrepreneur Society of the Philippines.
Congratulations.
Yes.
Thank you.
And
Thanks,
also,
Randy.
aside from that, they also won a startup competition, Tech in Asia, Tokyo,
Yep.
right? And Seed Stars.
Yes.
Okay, those three competitions are mainly for startups and for young entrepreneurs. And they won 3 of them. Okay,
Wow.
so now let's find out. Okay, for Magellan, first question. CEO at 25.
Yeah.
How does that happen?
Yeah, how? How did you do that?
Well, I think business titles, it's just titles.
Okay, very
I
humbling
think-
answer.
The most important thing, you can be a CEO, you can be anyone, you can even be just Magellan without a
Yes.
title and can
Yes.
still do something, make a difference, not just for yourself,
Yes.
but for the society as a whole.
Okay.
And I think that's the most important thing in running a business.
That's very humble and very inspirational. Okay, now how did you become a CEO? Meaning, how did you start with Accudin? What inspired you to come up with this business?
So before establishing Accudin, I used to be part of our family business, and we deal with a lot of pharma companies,
Oh, okay.
big ones. Now, one problem I saw, which is apparently a very big problem among small to medium enterprises, is that a lot of these companies don't pay on time.
Okay.
In fact, in the Philippines, only 10% of companies pay on time. And usually the payment terms are not less than 30 days. Worst case scenario is 6 months before you get paid for a service or
So
for a
you
product.
saw the need. You saw the
I saw the
challenge.
problem. I saw the challenge.
Yes.
So, as with any other great businesses, it should always start with that problem that other people can relate to.
Yes, and you want to find the solution.
Yes.
And that's where we thought of the solution through our company, Accudin.
Okay, but at a very young age, to be a CEO or to be someone building an empire this early, ano yung naging struggle? Like, hindi ka ba nagdalawang isip dahil, oh, I'm just like 24, 25 years old, ano yung, baka hindi ako, meron kasi for you to become a CEO, dapat yung tipong established ka na, marami ka nang alam, or at least 40-something, di ba, 50-something.
Correct.
Pero ano yung naging challenge or struggle if there was any?
There's a lot. Maraming
Yes,
struggles.
I can imagine.
Where should I start? Okay.
Oo, kasi
So,
ang bata eh.
Going to business in general, one of the biggest challenges, of course, is financial stability.
Of course.
I mean, papasok ka sa isang negosyo na alam mong maapektuhan yung well-being mo. Dahil, you're going to risk eh. You're going to risk before anybody else believes in you, you're going to risk your own money first.
Correct.
Before anyone puts in money in you.
Yeah, before anyone could invest.
Invest.
Could anyone invest? And there was a period in time that I was sleeping in my office. I was sleeping in, I have a lazy boy in my office. That has been my bed for like a number of months. And there were even times na I was eating skyflakes for breakfast and dinner. May variety naman kasi pag lunch, I get the free
May
soup.
flavor. Ay, okay.
No, I get the free soup from the, ano, di ba sa Makati may mga Jolly Jeep?
Yes.
Hihingi
yes.
ako, ate, free soup
Sabaw.
yan, di ba? So there were those instances.
Yes.
But they are all relevant sacrifices to get to where you want to be.
Yes.
And those are just some of the things I went through
Yes.
to make things happen. But there's just one thing that you have to make sure to stick to your vision
Yes.
if you really want to push for what you're doing.
And what helped a lot before is that you said you're working with your family business.
Yes.
So before jumping into a brand new business, not knowing anything about
Yes.
the tricks of the trade, it's good to gain that experience.
Exactly.
To know what it is that you're dealing with before you start a brand new business venture.
Correct.
Alam mo na kung paano tumakbo yung negosyo.
Negosyo.
At least you have the basics. Or unless, ikaw ba yung naging head then or CEO of your family business?
I was not the CEO of the
Yes.
family business, but naging involved ako dun sa operations.
Operations. And that was a
That
good
was
training.
a great learning experience.
Okay, so you, sabi mo may mga needs, yun yung na-realize mo when you
Yeah.
were working in the family business. And then, how did you start? How did you build or establish the group? Okay, ito yung partner ko. Paano ka nag-start? Mga kakilala mo, friends
Yes.
mo ba? Did you tap them?
Well, before you even start something, there should be at least people validating your idea.
Yes.
So the first steps I did before even talking to, before even hiring people or sharing my vision to people was to get advice.
Yes. You
I
discuss it to people who would understand and appreciate the concept.
Exactly. So I talked to a lot of adults.
Yes.
People who have
course.
more experience than
Yeah.
us.
Exactly. And you will get a lot of insights.
Yes.
Because that's how I was able to mold, at least at an early stage, yung at least the basic concept that I want to build.
So may trial and error. Ito yung raw idea.
Yes.
So as you talk to these people, nababago.
Nababago. And of course, being a young person, a young visionary, you have to be open.
Yes.
You have to be open. You can't let your pride hurt you.
Yes.
Because some people, pag medyo nababash na yung idea mo, di ba? Parang, ano ba naman ito? Niloloko.
Oo, wag na nga lang.
Huwag mo
Sa iba
inaaway.
na lang.
Parang ganun.
You have to be open to constructive criticism,
Exactly.
Yes.
especially people who know better than us.
Yeah, you have
course.
to acknowledge the fact, I think, that you're young. There's a lot of things that you're supposed to be learning. Pa.
And there's a lot of things you don't know.
Yes.
Yes.
A lot of things you don't know. That you have to acknowledge.
Yes. I think now a lot of our viewers want to know what is Accudine.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, what
so
is Accudine?
before we start
do you
discussing,
do?
we have a very special video presentation that we'd like to show you introducing the company of Accudine.
Yes,
So
let's
let's all
watch
take a
this.
look.
SMEs are operated by small people with big dreams. And we want to create an environment that will support them in making things happen. With the ASEAN region having 70 million SMEs, a huge chunk of these enterprises face a common problem. Those that deal with bigger companies, even if they've already accomplished their job, have to wait for 30 to 90 days before they receive their payment. For most SMEs, this standard practice is killing their businesses. But what can they do? They have no other option but to wait. So for SMEs with cash flow problems, they often look for financing options. Unfortunately, most of them could not comply with the requirements of current bank loan offers, which usually require collateral, a positive financial statement, and a minimum of 3 years of operations. This is the reason why we created Accudine, the first online marketplace for invoice discounting in the Philippines. Accudine is focusing and fixing the broken segments, hindering banks to provide more viable financing options for SMEs by building a framework for business matching with strong trust and transparency measures, good risk mitigation process, and a time-conscious payment collection system. With this setup, we get to operate with better economics, and we can focus on making it possible to serve the underserved SME market, the small people with big dreams.
Well, a
Okay.
great video.
We're back.
Yes.
It's a very comprehensive video. Basically, it tells you what you do in Accudin. But first, again, how did Accudin start? Yung capital mo, saan mo kinuha? Sarili mo ba yun? Did you borrow
Yeah.
from parents? And yung knowledge about this, automatic ba siya? You learned this from the university? Or, okay.
Well, from business school, usually, when you start a business, and if you don't have the funds, ang model namin dyan, yung turo sa amin ng prof namin is, for your first capital, you beg, you steal, you borrow.
Still, you borrow.
So,
Those are
of
pretty
course,
extreme.
those are extreme ways to get capital, di ba?
Okay,
Yes.
first, you
But-
beg.
You beg, you steal, you borrow. Pero I think, to put it simply, it's all about you sharing your vision to someone, making him believe in what you do.
Yes.
And that's how you can get capital or the trust. Kasi when someone gives you capital, that's another person giving you the trust.
Of course, you have to assure the person then.
Exactly.
Viable ba yung business or
Business,
yung idea
exactly.
mo. Okay, so how did you do it?
I did
Present mo yung idea?
I presented. I have I had a 10-slide PowerPoint presentation.
Very
I'm-
basic.
Very basic. I had, back then, I just had an idea, presented it to some potential investors.
But these potential investors, kilala mo na sila? Family, friends ba sila?
Yes, a lot of
okay.
them. So, of course, in any business, you have to start with your immediate circle.
Correct.
Yes.
Because why? They are the hardest to convince.
Yes.
Yeah.
Di ba? They're the
And
hardest to convince.
they can be straightforward. They can bash you
Yeah,
right away.
they will bash your idea, which is
Yeah.
good.
Yes.
So I started with my initial circle, and initially they didn't really understand it, and then when they saw the passion,
The
they saw the
potential.
vision, the potential, they loved it,
Okay.
and
Okay.
that's where I got my.
So
initial
you were
capital.
able to convince them.
Yes.
You begged for your capital.
I begged. I didn't steal,
Yes, at least you didn't steal.
but I borrowed.
You begged and you borrowed.
Yes.
Okay, so yun, that's one tip. You don't have the capital, but you can still put up your own business by asking people,
Yes.
investors, venture capitalists.
Yes.
You always
who have
need to
the
prepare
money.
your presentation
Yes.
and your proposal to convince these people, why should I give you my money?
Oh,
Exactly.
and Randy, I think you have to be credible also and be serious. Okay, 24 years old ka lang, ano yung pinapresent mo? Are you serious about that?
Exactly.
I think nasa image din yun. Nasa
Exactly.
image din yun.
So it's all about credentials play a huge role, but more than credentials is trustworthiness.
Yes.
People should be able to trust you,
Yes.
and the way you can convince them to trust you is to make sure you understand what you're telling them. Dapat alam mo yung negosyo, alam mo dapat yung papasukin mo, alam mo yung mga potential na problema.
At nakita nilang seryoso ka.
And nakita nilang seryoso.
Ilang
Of course.
taon ka nun nung nag-start kang mag-conceptualize?
I
Nag-start kang
was
mag-present sa kanila?
24.
24.
Wow.
So that was a year,
Year
ago.
ago, yeah.
Okay, so 24, nagpa-present ka sa kanila, and then pumayag sila na ibigyan ka ng capital to
Yep.
put up this business.
Yes.
Okay, yung idea, I mean, I'm sure the viewers are curious.
Yes.
Na-
What
na-
is Accudin?
Yeah, or
Yes.
naaral mo ba yan from sa school? Tinuro ba yan sa school? Or
Well,
you just...
interesting enough, a lot of things na people in particular will learn, they learn after school.
True, I agree.
Especially when you start facing the real life problems. So I learned about this problem while working for our family business. Wherein, as I mentioned a while ago, maraming small na businesses, di ba? Yung cash flow nila naiipit. Because, on one end, meron silang mga kliyente, malalaking kumpanya, na nagbabayad in 60 to 90 days or
Correct.
even 6 months.
Mhm.
So, paano na lang kung yung company mo only have 15 days left of runway, of cash flow.
Yes.
Tapos yung susunod mo na bill, papasok pa in 60 days.
Which is the normal situation, I suppose.
Which is the normal situation.
Yes.
So, ang gagawin mo sa company, kukuha ka ng loan
Yes.
or uutang ka. Pero unfortunately, banks here in the Philippines don't give proper loans or like yung mga secured loans if you don't have at least 3 years of positive
Yes, that's
financials.
correct. For
Yes.
small, medium enterprise businesses, SMEs, for you to get a loan from banks, let us just inform the viewers, kailangan operational ka with at least 3
3
years.
Yes.
Operational na yung business mo 3 years, at meron kang, I think yung cash flow mo or yung bank statement mo sufficient.
Sufficient,
Yeah,
yes.
just to establish that you are earning.
So, kumbaga, yung saying nga,
Marami.
di ba, banks only lend to people who don't need the
Who
money.
don't need the money.
So-
Correct.
Yeah.
Kasi ganun yung requirements nila. And also dapat may certain credit history ka na sa
Exactly.
kanila. Okay, so nagki-cater ka doon sa mga hindi na reach yung ganitong requirements.
Yes.
Exactly.
So let's say, for
Exactly.
example, I am a small
Yes.
business. What options do I have if I can't even get this loan? What can
From
I
the
do?
banks. Kasi I'm
Yes.
not qualified. For example, isang taon pa lang
Exactly.
akong operational. Okay.
Ang magiging option mo kasi dyan is you get what we call an unsecured loan or a non-collateralized loan.
Right.
Siyempre, di ba, wala kang pang collateral eh. Unfortunately, these kinds of loans, ang interest niyan, not less than 3% a month.
Correct. I agree. I
Oh,
know.
yeah.
And there are even instances, aabot siya 15% per month.
Wow. That's
So,
Taas.
yung
Yeah, it will
annualize
kill the
that,
business.
parang more than 100% yung babayaran mong interest para lang sa inutang mo. So,
Hindi nakakabawi.
hindi
Sa
nakakabawi.
interest na pupunta yung
Kita.
kita ng business.
In fact, kulang pa.
So that's what you do, Akudin.
So, that's why we created Akidin.
okay.
Sa Akidin, kunwari, merong kang invoice, Randy, from,
Yes.
let's say, Smart Telecommunications.
Okay,
Okay.
ako yung SME.
Ah,
Ako
okay.
yung small business.
So,
Okay.
si Mayan yung small business, Randy is the big businessman.
Yes.
Okay.
Mayan, gumawa ka ng
I
product.
supply him. Oh, yes.
Nag-supply ka for Randy.
Okay. And
And-
I have to pay her
Yeah,
within
invoice.
90 days.
90 days.
Mm.
Pero wala na akong pera. Kailangan ko na yung pera para paikutin. Hindi
Exactly.
ko na mahintay yung 90 days, right?
Yes.
Okay, so papasok sa Akudin.
Mayan, lalapit ka kay Akidin, ibibigay mo yung invoice mo sa amin,
Ibibenta ko.
ibebenta mo. So, that way, hindi ka na kailangan maghintay ng 90 days para bayaran ni Randy.
Okay, so let's give an amount. Say 1 million.
Okay.
I have a receivable from
me
you
for
1
1
million.
Yes.
And you will pay me in 90 days pa.
Yes.
But she wants money already in
Yes,
15
I want
days.
money already. Hindi na
Oh.
kaya ng cash flow ko.
Yes.
Okay.
Ibibenta ko sa'yo.
Ibebenta
yan.
mo sa akin at a discounted price.
Okay, discounted price meaning how
Meaning,
much?
around 2%.
2%.
Okay.
So less 2% na yung 1 million.
Yes.
Magkano mo na lang bibilhin sa
So,
akin?
parang bibiling ko sa'yo ng mga around 980,000 pesos.
Oh, not bad.
Yeah.
Okay, 980 pesos. Pero 980,000 pesos, gaano kabilis ko makukuha yung 980?
Within 24 hours.
24
Wow.
hours.
Yes.
Instead of 90 days, 24 hours.
Wait,
Yes.
that includes yung application ko sa Akudin? I mean, are you not gonna do background checking?
Well,
on
of
me?
course, we will do KYC with you.
Okay.
But of course, in your succeeding transactions, kapag meron ka ng account
Yun
sa
na yung
amin,
within 24
24 hours, ang bilis na lang.
Okay, let's go to the application with
Yes.
you, yung KYC. Gaano katagal?
Few hours.
Few hours lang din.
Kasi the whole process is online.
Oh.
And the
Very
beauty of
accessible,
this,
yeah.
That's
exactly, the beauty of this, as an SME, kaya kayo na hindi na-approve ng bangko is because of the lack of a good credit history.
Correct.
We don't require credit history in our platform.
What do you require then?
KYC lang. We
KYC
just want to
lang.
make sure that you are
KYC is know your customer.
know your customer.
Know your
Wow.
So
customer.
these are information about the business. Para lang alam namin na you are a legitimate business and we can confirm from
From the big company.
the big companies na,
Yes.
ay, eto, nagsusupply
Na-supply.
talaga
Okay.
siya sa amin.
So anong requirement? Ano yung basic na info na tinatanong sa amin?
Well, basic is, for example, a copy lang of your SEC certificate.
At least, okay,
a copy of your GIS, GIS meaning General Information
Yeah,
Sheet.
business permits.
Business permits.
ITRs? Yung
ITR,
sa
yeah.
BIR? Yeah.
Oo. And of course, some information about the directors,
Oh.
saan yung address,
Okay.
typical na application form.
And then ano yung proof na supplier kami ng big company? What do you represent?
Well, that's where the technology comes in eh.
Okay.
Malalaman namin.
Oh,
Meron
okay. So
kaming,
secret ba yan?
that's part of our technology,
Yes.
proprietary technology,
Okay.
wherein by partnering with companies like Randy or the smart telcos or
Yes.
the PLDTs, we are able to vet or in an instant identify whether you are a legitimate supplier or not
Of them.
of them.
Yes.
Okay.
Alam namin.
So let's
Okay.
say you've already sold your invoice. Where do I
Yes.
come in? The big company, the person who needs to pay. How do you deal with me from what you've when you've sold the invoices to?
Essentially, with the big company, it's the same eh. You, we essentially call it frictionless because you don't have to change anything.
Okay.
If you still have to pay them 90 days, you still pay the due in 90 days.
But instead
Of to May and to us na.
Okay, so
okay.
check payable to not Mayan but to Accudin.
To
na.
Accudin.
Because
Yes.
we're already paid by you.
Yes, kasi we have an escrow system where those funds course through.
But the amount that big company will be paying, what
It's the
amount?
same.
It's still
It's
1
the
million.
same. That's how
It's-
they
okay.
earn. Okay.
Correct.
Yes, but when they the SME, the small medium enterprise, sells you the invoice, is there any interest?
No interest kasi it's the
discount
discount.
lang.
Wow. Okay.
So,
Oh.
kumbaga, you sell the invoice to us as an asset and not as an utang.
It's very helpful.
yeah.
It's very helpful for those planning or for those owners of small businesses out there na nag-try na mag-loan sa bank at hindi na approve given nga yung very steep requirements nila na kailangan 3 years ka na and all that. Kasi hindi mo naman talaga, kakailanganin na ng capital if you're operational na ng 3 years.
Exactly.
Yes.
Okay, so there's Accudin. There's that financing option or alternative for you guys. Hindi lahat sa bank.
Yes.
Meron tayong alternative. And we have to I think this episode should help na to share to others na yes, there is Accudin sa mga hindi na approved sa bangko
Yeah.
at sa mga alam nilang hindi sila papasa sa
Yeah.
requirements
Exactly.
ng
So if someone wants to avail of your services
Yes.
of Accudin, how would they get in
Yes.
contact with you?
Well, they can go to our website. It's www.accudin. That's Alpha, Charlie, Unicorn, Accu,
Delta.
Echo, Nancy.
Yes,
okay.
Accudin.com.
Yes.
And they can also email us at info@accudin.com.
Info
okay.
at Accudin. Yun yung mga inquiries.
Yes.
And then you'd be willing to
Well, we
answer
have
the inquiries, of course.
we have a customer service team. I think one of our company's culture is to really build relationships with our clients. Eh. So at least, di ba when you go to a bank, parang hindi siya personal,
And
nakakatakot,
intimidating siya.
intimidating.
Very intimidating.
Sa amin, we are your friends.
Yeah.
So
We
kayo
are
ba
doing this
pupunta?
for a purpose. Eh. We are doing this for financial
It
inclusion.
is a very good thing to know.
And
For a cause.
this is not just for a cause, but to really make a big
A
impact
big impact
Yes.
to
Yes.
to the
the
Philippines, to the industry.
Yes. You will really help. Kasi ang direction natin, ang alam ko, we're really encouraging the people to, hindi naman sa iwasan yung employment lang, to be an ordinary employee. But yes, this will encourage people to put up their own businesses
take that risk,
instead.
take that jump.
Take that risk.
Yeah.
Kasi it's more rewarding to have your own business.
Yes.
It's more rewarding. And I think mas talaga namang mas kikita ka.
Exactly.
Kasi hindi ka limited sa sinasweldo mo monthly.
Correct.
Okay, so there's an alternative, there's an answer to our problem if we lack capital or yung cash flow natin limited,
Yes.
yung cash natin limited at
Yes.
yung
You can avail of invoice
Yes,
discounting
invoice
to increase your
discounting.
cash flow so that you can continue with your business.
and one more thing, it's done via online.
Yes.
Very convenient.
Yes.
Very convenient.
Very
Okay.
convenient.
Well, we thank you, Magellan, for
Thank you, Randy.
being with
Thank
us
you,
today
Magellan.
It's a
and
pleasure.
giving us
Thank
your
My pleasure.
Thank you.
inspirational story about how you started.
Thank you.
Yes, I
Okay.
can already think of some people who I will refer to you. Di
Perfect.
ba na matutulungan mo?
We'd
Yes.
love to help.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
Okay.
we all hope that you've learned something today and that you've used some of our tips for your own business ventures. So these are mornings filled with meaningful business talk.
Giving you useful advice to win at your career. But before that, can we do some greetings first?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Hello. Okay.
All right, I'd like to greet my cousin, a regular evangelical worker. Happy birthday, lokal ng proprietarios, Metro Manila South. Happy birthday ka, Emil Viloria.
Hello, happy birthday.
Hello, happy birthday, Insan. See you soon. Okay, and do we have some questions? Okay, can we welcome some questions even if they're not live viewers?
Yes, we can still ask some questions.
Yeah, you can actually watch this, tapos pag may tanong sila,
Yeah, we can,
you go directly to them and answer the
them.
questions.
Definitely.
Yes.
Yeah, so again, we hope that it was a productive and fruitful episode for everyone, that you've learned a lot, and that it inspired you to be a young entrepreneur. For those 20-something out there, it's not impossible. With us is Magellan, 25 years old,
The
CEO.
pie is big enough for everyone to share.
Yes,
Yes.
okay, very inspirational. Again, thank you, Magellan.
Okay, and I am Randy Bernardino.
I am May and Manzano, and this is
Daily Insight.